The world of gaming is weird. Every month, more stuff happens, and every month gameranx puts together a compilation of the weirdest stories. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, the weirdest gaming stories from February 2021. Starting off at number 10, a developer got kicked off Steam because they made, and this is just, it's actually brilliant, but I get why they got kicked off Steam. They made their name very positive. Like, you know, the very positive rating that every single developer wants on Steam. They named their developer very positive, as in very positive games. Although I don't think they used the word games. I think it was just very positive, which is clever. But it's only clever in that it thinks that the only people who will ever look at it are users, which is not true. The administration team also looks at things on the Steam platform, and they're like, oh, no, you're not doing that. I mean, think about it. When you look at a game, where do you look first? I look in the little ratings area, and the name of the developer is also in that little area. But like I said, they are looking for people who are trying to game the system, and obviously this person was trying to game the system successfully. So while I want to say, you know, clever, good work, also like not really that cool. It definitely would have tricked me into at least looking, and like 7,000 people followed this developer. So anyway, they decided to publicly say they figured this wasn't a problem with Valve, and that, you know, pissed off tons of people. And they were like, no, reported it, and they got removed. Why would anything else happen? That's the question I have. Why would you think that they're just gonna be cool with it? Why would you say that publicly? Seems like this person did a clever thing and then became very smug. Moving on to number 9, new Elite Dangerous players are getting tricked into signing up for a forced labor camp. So basically what's happening is that there is a group that is sort of staking out territory near where new players might show up, or even just hang around. They're given a offer for something like money to buy a ship, but you end up basically on a tanker. They take you out to the middle of nowhere and you gotta mine crap, specifically void opals. And the only people that are around to buy them are the scammers that are running this thing. And they won't buy them unless they're at like extremely low prices, much lower than they should be going for. Basically, your only way out is theoretically catching a ride, which not a lot of people are able to do, or quitting. Now, this doesn't sound great, but it's a video game, right? And it's a video game that is really based on exploitation. Like, the point of this game is to exploit the living hell out of everything around you. More or less. I mean, somebody could probably argue with me on that, but I mean, the guy behind it is pretty ballsy about it. Like, he's bragging about it to publications and stuff. I feel like it's a matter of time before they figure out some way for this to be breaking some rule in the game. I don't know. At number 8, a lawmaker from Illinois has proposed the idea of banning Grand Theft Auto because there has been an uptick in carjackings in Illinois. Now, first off, let's go ahead and say this. This uptick is a surge that has happened very recently and has necessitated security teams patrolling gas stations to protect people while they are pumping gas. It is that desperate of a situation. It just happened over the last year. I don't know, maybe there's some reason that people are wilding out. Maybe something has happened over the last year which has made people more and more desperate. Maybe something, I don't know. There certainly hasn't been like a pandemic or anything. Anyways, Grand Theft Auto is apparently why that happened. You know, the series that hasn't had a new game in 7 years. And these lawmakers, the very people who are in power, by the way, who have the authority or at least some influence to push for things like that, they try to shift the blame onto Grand Theft Auto. Come on, get out of here. Oh, there's a big spike in some kind of crime? Sorry, it's not video games. It's been proven that that is not something that happens. You don't become a criminal from playing violent video games. You don't become a psychopath. You don't become a killer. None of that stuff happens. Look at studies. There is a crime spree because the conditions in this country have worsened significantly in the last year. Duh. At number 7, it looks like Epic is actually going to pay off a class action loot box settlement with, and I don't love this, in-game currency. Now, when I say I don't love this, I mean I vehemently hate it. Until early 2019, there was a loot box mechanic in Fortnite. It wasn't a box, it was a llama. You could get a loot llama, and it would contain random items. Basically, it's a loot box, yeah. And they were sued There's a class action lawsuit that's been going on for quite a while, which alleged that they psychologically manipulated its young players into thinking they're going to get lucky and get some sort of good items. The proposed settlement sucks. I do not like it. They're just gonna give out 1,000 V-Bucks to basically everybody. It's worth $8. But let me tell you why I don't like that. While people who play Fortnite will definitely benefit from the V-Bucks, it also doesn't cost Epic anything at all. And if you think about it, it's likely going to increase the amount of people that are actually buying V-Bucks and using it in Fortnite. Lots of people who have never used that kind of currency before, never bought it, are gonna think, holy crap. My thought is it would be nice if they just paid out some money, to people who were involved in the class action lawsuit, instead of just giving out a thing that costs nothing to everybody and will function to get more people to spend money in the game. At number 6, a federal court in British Columbia demanded that a prison returned a PlayStation game card to an inmate. Now, there was an inmate that was charged and was serving time for first-degree murder and won a federal court battle that orders prison officials to return the memory card to his video game. Now, I don't personally think that the prison system in any Western country is particularly good, let's say. And I'm not going to pretend that I entirely understand this news thing. I don't understand why he had a PlayStation and a memory card, and I particularly don't understand why it was taken from him. I mean, if you have a PlayStation in prison, it stands to reason that confiscating the memory card is kind of contradictory. But he got it back through an actual court battle, which I'm not going to lie is hilarious. And number 5, apparently if you teach a pig to play a video game, they're not terrible at it. Now, the news had a lot of fun saying the pigs were good at video games, but let's just be clear. The pigs were playing very simple video games. The games are designed to test cognitive processes like memory, attention, and conceptualization. And just to be clear, good means, and I quote, each pig performed the tasks well above chance, indicating the animal understood that the movement of the joystick was connected to the cursor on the computer screen, which is, just to be completely clear, a really cool discovery. We should not minimize that. That's pretty badass. But good? Let's get the Pig the Demon Souls remake. Let's see how far they get, okay? That's all I have to say about this. Good? I don't think so. News. At number 4, Stadia just had a bad month. Google Stadia is, it's not the best thing in the world, right? It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's so far from the best that there is no reason to even consider it in the running. On some levels, it's technically impressive, but would I use it to play my games? The answer is no. And that's why Google decided to close the studios that they had bought, because they realized, hey, this isn't going to be as big of a thing as we thought it was. They really did think Stadia was going to be like the console killer, but more consoles launched and people seem as hungry for them as ever. The Stadia developers were told that they were making great progress on the platform and then got fired. And it wasn't like a long period of time between these two events. It was 5 days. They were told they were making great progress and then were fired 5 days later. On top of that, Google is facing a class action lawsuit over their claim that they were going to have 4K gaming on it, which did not pan out. Even though Stadia is technically capable of streaming games at 4K, there are a number of technical reasons, some coming from developers, some inherent in the limitations of the internet and providers. But 4K, there isn't that on Google Stadia. Not for real anyways. Not that the service is shutting down, but it's certainly not the big thing they thought it was going to be. At number 3, there was total chaos in Akihabara, because as you know, getting a PlayStation 5 is not easy. It's particularly not easy in Japan, where demand is just super high. I don't know if I really have to explain what's going on here, but a store just really did not bother making it clear how they were going to distribute the 300 PlayStation 5 consoles that they decided to sell. Basically, everything went crazy here. There were people just sort of standing around, and then when they saw the PlayStation 5s and some employees, everybody just sort of descended on a single area, stuff got wrecked, and it's wild. And let's just talk about how close quarters everybody is here. That looks like Black Friday from a non-COVID year. Yeah, I see the masks and I see the face protecting stuff, but still, that's not safe. At number 2, Activision warned that the standard 500GB PlayStation 4 probably isn't going to be able to fit Call of Duty Warzone, Black Ops Cold War, and Modern Warfare. So Warzone Season 2 came out, and it's big, but not so big. It's 17 gigabytes, which is not a small patch. But here's the kicker. It requires 100 gigabytes to install. So if you have Modern Warfare, Black Ops Cold War, and Warzone all installed on the PlayStation 4 500 gigabyte hard drive, it may not be possible to update. Now keep in mind that is installing everything at its fullest, so it's kind of a maybe situation, but still that's insane. It's too much. Like, really, Activision? And finally, at number 1, with all of the various stuff out there telling you that video games are bad for you, science continues to find that it is good for you, at least if you're not addicted to it. Cambridge University just recently published an article with findings that showed that kids have about a 25% less likelihood of developing depressive symptoms if they play video games regularly. Now, that's not a small amount. That's actually really big and really great. It's of course a single study. It would be good to have more results, but that is the kind of thing we like to hear, especially again when we're still stuck indoors. Still, it's kind of weird to have some piece of positive news. It seems like often the weird gaming stories are negative stuff, which is fine. I don't really think that it really matters, but still it kind of bucks the trend. That's it for this month. Leave us a comment, let us know what you think. If you like this video, please click like. If you're not subscribed, now is a good time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to click the notification bell, enabling all notifications. And as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter, Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time, right here on gameranx.